All right, same day. This next series, this is Son of Trickster, Trickster 2. Some other people were kicking around ideas on the net. I noticed when I did my Trickster series, which was really mistakes, errors, contradictions on the part of Fenn. In a lot of cases, I think he does on purpose. Fenn has said as much. It's not a big shock. He misspells things to get your attention. He misspeaks to get your attention. He misidentifies things to get your attention. It's the way he rolls, and he likes to do that as kind of a learning tool, which is exactly what the Trickster does of Native American, a Native American, I guess you could say, mythological creature. That is what he does. He teaches while he tricks, but he also just tricks you. Excuse me. I think that's part of what Fenn does too. I think part of it is he just tricks you. You know, he does messes with you. But I think at other times he's trying to teach you things, and I think at other times he's guiding you and all sorts of different things with his, quote, mistakes, errors, or contradictions. So this is Son of Trickster, Trickster 2. I do want to say before I go any further that, believe it or not, I'm going to be boots on the ground on Sunday. Or no, I take that back. I'm going to be wheels up on Sunday. What am I talking about? I'm going to go out and fly out to an area up in the Wyoming, Montana area. I'll just put it that way. Near Yellowstone, or in Yellowstone. I'm being kind of stupid, but I really truly believe I have figured out what's going on with this thing. So I'm kind of being kind of an ass, but there's no other way to be doing something like a treasure hunt, something I never thought I'd ever be doing in a million years. The thing that concerned me is, and the reason I'm going out on this hunt is because now, I mean, it'll be in the 40s part of the time I'm there. Today it's relatively nice there, but I have figured out this area. I had to have more or less an epiphany to understand the poem, and I understand the poem now. I absolutely understand the poem now. There's not any doubt in my mind that I figured out where Fenn is coming from, so to speak. And people have said, I've seen people say, well, this isn't about getting in Forrest Fenn's head. This is about finding the No, it has every bit to do with finding out what Forrest Fenn is thinking. He's presenting something to you, right? He's presenting a poem, and he's, you know, to think it's not important how he thinks or how he's thought of doing this, it's pretty darn important. Anyway, I'm going to go out there Sunday and come back on Thursday. But I'm pretty sure, I got to tell you a funny story, though. And again, I'm not trying to be a dick, because I know some of you are going, you know, if you're just going to sit here and make everything this vague, whatever, you get Fennian when you think other people who have thought they knew where the treasure was have done the same thing. You get very Fennian, you get very coy, you get very closed-mouthed about everything. But of course you do. You're talking about going out and possibly retrieving something worth a couple of $1 million. That's a big deal to me. And I have enjoyed this as a... I mean, if in fact I was able to retrieve the treasure chest and have the money, that would be a wonderful thing. But to me, it's an ongoing puzzle that I've been puzzling over for over a year now. And I love puzzles. I've always loved puzzles. I love Scrabble. I love any kind of game. I love video games that make you think. And I just love a good puzzle. And this is a really, really good puzzle. And I had to kind of I had an epiphany one day about how Fenn had done this, I guess you could say. And once I had that epiphany and understood what was going on, everything kind of fell into place. Now, here's where it gets funny. I mean, fell into place right down every line, every word fits my solve. Here's where it gets funny, though. I know where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going. I had to set up the plane ticket to get there. Now, I know I did this in Colorado 4 times, and I never found the treasure, but this is different, and you don't have to believe that. It'll either turn out to be true or not. There's one little hiccup in the plan. I had to laugh. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly to where, I know an area, and I know exactly what I'm looking for in that area. And then, and I mean, it's known. I'll put it that way. It's not of my imagination. So I start trying to pin it down. I can't pin it down. I can't pin it down. But I know it's out there. Because it's known. And so it would be the equivalent of, it's the equivalent of knowing where Mount Rushmore is. And I've talked about this before as an example. And so you know you're going to Mount Rushmore, and then you mention, hey, what's up, buddy? Tober came in. You know it's at Mount Rushmore, right? And so you know at Mount Rushmore, I don't know, there's oh gosh, this is terrible. You know at Mount Rushmore, there's a road going to Mount, oh, this is terrible. You know there's a land site, let's just say there's something affiliated with Mount Rushmore that you've heard about. And so you call ahead and you say, and yes, by the way, when I get out to Mount Rushmore, I'm going to be going to, let's say a motel. It's a motel you want to go to because you know of it. And then you call up and they go, well, there's no such motel. And you're like, excuse me? And they go, no, not that we're aware of. And you go, there's got to be. And they go, no, there's no such motel. That's the predicament I'm in. It's really confusing. I know some of you are going, what the hell are you talking about? I can't really say much more than that. I will say this. Every time I go to a location, a town or whatever, I did it in Vernal. For those of you that watched the Vernal one, you saw it. I did it in, I didn't do it in Denver, did I? I should have. Ooh, man, I really should have. Anytime, and kind of in a way, when I went to Dinosaur Monument, you could say it was an outdoor museum. But I'm talking about museums. Museums are incredibly good places to learn about any area you're in. So I guess I'm going to the museum when I get there. Maybe that's what Fenn was trying to tell someone else when he went to the Denver Museum. Remember that? The Denver Museum last year? Someone went up to the Denver Museum. Dale or Shiloh or one of the people affiliated with Fenn. I could be completely wrong about this. I just remember someone went to, how you doing, buddy? Just sitting there staring at me. They went up to the museum in Denver and people were just like, oh my God, are they drove a car there? I don't even, anyway, the point is, I guess that's first stop for me is when I get there, I got to go to the museum. And that may not even be the right place to go. Because I actually called someone. Sorry, Tober's knocking the camera around as usual. I actually called someone, didn't tell him, of course, what the circumstances were, why I was calling him. And they were the one that said, never heard of that motel. And I mean, that's a metaphor or analogy or whatever you call it. And I don't know what you call it. I'm not talking about a motel. Excuse me. I'm not talking about a motel, but that was essentially what happened for me mentally. That they said, not sure where that motel would be, never heard of it. And I'm like, now at this point, I've already got the plane tickets, the hotel, and everything. So, this is all I can say about that. Fenn said you're going to have to work for it, and so I am going to have to work for it. And all I can say to, I had an argument with someone about this, and they were like, you are so stupid, you believe in this hoax. I can't believe I'm still putting up with people arguing with me about this. First of all, it's my damn life, and if I want to go do whatever I want to do with it, It's no one else's problem. But people, you know, friends think they're helping you. You know, this constant need to help others. This condescending, arrogant attitude about other people. Similar to that guy who told Fenn, gave him an ultimatum. I'm giving you a week to figure out what's right, because I know what's right. Well, anyway, this is all I have to say to that person and everybody else. I have figured out where the damn thing is. All right? And I'm sorry for using that language, Mr. Fenn, if you see this, but I want to make my point. I have figured out where it is. So, I just have to get there. I have to get to it specifically, obviously, to get the treasure chest. But I know you're under a lot of pressure. This particular person said to me, if Mr. Fenn was a really cool guy, he would stop this hunt for sake of... It started with this damn tubby mental case that broke into his house with an axe. Horrible thing to do. But I can tell you right now, if someone came into my house with an axe, I'd be terrified. Terrified. So for his daughter to have to pull a gun on this guy and hold him at bay or whatever happened while he retrieved the chest of clothes, or maybe she caught him in the act of having the chest of clothes. I assume he thought he had the treasure chest, but I read a dialogue between him and the police, and literally they said, so the poem told you to pick up a chest of clothes? And like, yeah. I mean, if you see the picture of the guy, he's just a goofy looking, dumb, probably a little bit mental person, and it's sad. But what this person said to me was what other people have said on the net and got me so irritated. If Fenn was a nice guy, or if he cared about his family, he would stop this. Well, I can't speak to that, but all I know is I know what I'm doing, and I sure hope he doesn't stop it within the week. Call me selfish. Call me, selfish. I don't care. I'm going out there. It's going to be cold for the last couple of days. And still, I might even snow one day. But see, this epiphany came to me, and I figured out what he had done. And then I started kind of figuring out, kind of tying up the loose ends of how it all works. And then I figured out where to go. And that took me a little while, because once you understand what he's done, I still had to kind of figure out a little bit more about how much he had done it. And I know some of you are going, man, turn this off. This guy's pissed me off. I don't care, turn it off. But seriously, I know, at the risk of seeming really selfish, I'm going out there on Sunday. I hope the hunt's still going on. Forrest Fenn is a tough guy. He went to Vietnam. He fought and he was shot at. He's a brave man. We all know that. But when your family's involved, I can't believe the Fenn family hasn't at least sat around and talked about it once or twice. It'd be crazy for Mr. Fenn to not at least say to his daughters or his grandkids, how do you feel about this? I mean, especially his daughter, right? Who had to hold the guy at gunpoint. So I don't know what's going to happen with the hunt. It's always these kind of people that screw everything up. It's always a whack job to screw everything up. It's irritating. Anyway, that's my say. I'm leaving on Sunday and coming back Thursday. And I either find it or I don't. If I don't find it, it's still there. It's still where I'm going. I know it's still there where I'm going, even if I don't find it. If I don't find it, it will be because I cannot find the blaze. That's really what's going to come down to. I have to find the blaze, but I know where it's at. So I guess I could say it that way. And I've been wise to know where the blaze is, but I have to be even wiser now, or work harder to figure out where it's at. We'll see what happens.